Making the invisible visible. Black women, 365 days of the year. Each day will spotlight a remarkable woman whose story has shaped Black, British or global diasporic history. Women whose achievements are too often overlooked. Through these daily short films, we create a living, breathing archive of leadership, creativity, resistance and legacy. Let's begin.
Okay, so my name is Yolanda Williams. Technically, people would give me the labels of Reiki teacher, podcaster, energy healer. Those are common things that describe what I do. But really, to me, I help women discover themselves and feel very excited about their self-care. I like to help people finally give themselves permission and not feel guilty about caring about and prioritizing themselves. That's what's most important to me. So my work is really centered around women reclaiming their voice, rediscovering what that even is, especially with the different phases and stages of life. It changes as we grow and evolve. I love to help people soften into having compassion for themselves. Ultimately, my goal is to help women and men, quite honestly, everyone, to see the world differently, to understand themselves differently, and define for themselves what it means to have purpose. So my day-to-day, what my work looks like is I'm constantly thinking about what I can create or how I can create, not necessarily content, more so classes that will help people understand spirituality in a very practical way. So I'm in a constant phase of imagining. I sit in meditation a lot just to, one, bring myself into a state of peace, but also to open my mind to the potential of what can I share? How can I explain things differently? How can I help people be excited about life and not feel just bogged down by it? And I'm also a podcaster. So a lot of my day is listening. And that's, I want to say, one of my favorite things because I learn so much through what other people are experiencing on their paths and through their practices. So, yeah, that's what it looks like. A lot of listening and a lot of creating. Well, I think the most important I can't not mention is my grandmother. She was such a giving person, and she taught all of us in my family to, like, if you have two pair of shoes, you give one to someone else if they need it. So she taught me a lot about not being attached to things and the importance of being very communal and the importance of, you know, it really taking a village throughout the entirety of our lives. And I appreciate that so much. She taught me to have a lot of compassion for myself and others. And her influence on my life has just expanded in the work that I do now. And I appreciate so much more of who she was just by showing who she is. There's a quote by a saint named Saint Francis of Assisi. And the quote is, always preach the gospel, and when necessary, use words. And that's really what my grandmother embodied. I'm not that serious. Like, I love comedy. If I have time off, like literally every Friday night, I'm watching stand-up comedy. Because of what I do and the perceptions around that, people have an idea of who I am. And it's often that I'm, so serious and I eat clean and I'm, so proper all the time. And I'm like, no, I'm not at all. So I like to be silly. I like to play. I like to have adventure. Um, yeah. So I think that's something that a lot of people who don't know me personally don't tend to see. And I wish they did, because I also think that's another important part of the work that I do, that we maintain or return to like a childlike wonderment. Everything can't be so serious. And while there is a seriousness to our spirituality and our life and how we live and all of these things, like we have to have fun. Because when it's all over, I mean, my goodness, hopefully we can say we had some fun. So my work actually is more rich when it's challenging. That's another thing. This work, it helps you to recognize, even in the challenges, something is helping you grow. Something is helping you have a different perspective, a different type of appreciation. So the challenges that arise are kind of like, I know they're little teachers for me. So it's not something that, the challenges aren't challenging at all, really, but the challenge of doing social media and those kinds of things, I have to have little pep talks with myself of, it's not that I'm not being authentic to myself. It's just a way of sharing. So I always have to, certain things that I have a challenge with wanting to do, I have to reframe it from myself and come at it from a different angle to make it make sense. So yeah, I'll have little pep talks with myself about things like that. But, most challenges, I just see them as a teacher.
Thank you for joining us for today's story. Making the Invisible Visible is our commitment to ensuring that Black women's histories and contributions are recognised, valued and kept in daily circulation. Across 2026, we will continue to share these powerful narratives, 365 days of impact, brilliance and inspiration. Stay connected, join the conversation and help us champion the women whose journeys continue to shape our world. I'm Paulette Brooks and I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow for the next story.